Hey everybody, hope y'all are doing well. Uh, so I wanted to share a little story about Matemai that I was just thinking about, and this is actually the story of how I got the name Mhumhu Records for the record label that I started way back in 1999. And the way that started is I went back and I was living in Zimbabwe. This was my second time to Zimbabwe from 1999 to 2001. And during that time, I was living in Chitungwisa in New Zingeza 4. And I was living with Matemai. I built a little kind of building, excuse me, a little building behind the house that. So when I first came back, basically, at that point, I already knew I wanted to study with Matemai. I'm going to try and keep this story short and focused. I've tried to actually, anyway. Um, so yeah, at that point, I was living in a little brick house that I had built behind Owen's house. And I'll get more into that story later. But I was living there. Matemai was staying there most of the time. He was a lodger. He had a small room in Zingeza 2, or no, in Zingeza 4. And so, but eventually, pretty much we were practicing every day and playing music every day. And he was just staying there in my little shack as well. And at that time, I was young, so I was, 23 years old. We all liked to drink back then. We drank chibuku, the Masese beer. And so very often we would walk down to the Nyamapanda Hotel, which is where Matemai used to play all the time. And we would hang out and we'd be drinking and, just having a good time. Me, Matemai, Killian, who played Ngoma with the group, Owen, who was a singer and a dancer, various other, Mbira players around the community. It was a good time. It wasn't crazy or anything like that. We'd play pool, we'd hang out. And so I was trying to come up with a name for this record company because I was going around and recording all these various musicians and I wanted to release the music. And Matemai told me the story about the Mhumhu. And so Mhumhu is the Shona word for the spotted dog, like the wild dog that's found in, I'm not sure, all over Africa, Southern Africa, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and all that. So it's the spotted wild dog, the Mhumhu. And he was telling me about how, the traditional sort of view of it is when you're in the rural areas at night, if you hear the Mhumhu yelping and barking, you know that a lion is nearby. And the reason is because the lion would kill a prey and eat what it needs to eat and then go on its way. And then the Mhumhu would come in behind it and be feeding on it and yelping and all of that. So it was like the Mhumhu were always following behind the lion, which is Shumba. And now what he said is, so Mhumhu are like Mbira players because the Shumba is like the Mondoro spirit, like the main spirit so the Mbira player's job is basically to be following behind the spirit and playing music to bring the spirit forward. So he was calling Mhumhu was like the Mbira players. So we thought that was really cool. So that's how we came up with Mhumhu Records. And so it's kind of referring to the job of the Mbira player. All right, there you go. Y'all take care. Bye.